Hi everybody, welcome back to the Jordan Marie Organics YouTube channel. I'm Bruce and this is Jordan Marie, and today we're excited because it's field trip day!
Yay!
We are still a couple months off from planting outdoors here in Michigan, and the weather has been downright gloomy and snowy. We need a way to reset, recharge, and get pumped up for the upcoming gardening season, and what better place to do that than at CARLSONS greenhouse located in Fenton, Michigan in Zone 6A. CARLSONS greenhouse opened its doors at this location in 1985. And it specifically holds a very special place for me because it's where my mom always took me when I was growing up to purchase all of her flowers for her multiple flower beds around our house. It's especially bittersweet for me that I now get to take Jordan Marie and share with her the same experience to the same greenhouse, walking around and seeing all the different shapes and sizes of the plants and colors from all over the spectrum.
What I happen to have in the back for you.
Oh, say thank you! Wave and say thank you!
You're welcome!
Look, is that pretty? Ooh, pretty purple. All right, everybody, we have an extra special guest today. Today we have Margaret, plant mom extraordinaire from CARLSONS Greenhouse, joining us.
Hi.
Hello, Margaret. Welcome to our YouTube channel. Before we get started and talk about your beautiful greenhouse here, I want to talk a little bit about you. How long have you been an extended member of the CARLSON family, and how long have you been here at the greenhouse?
I have worked here for 31 years. I started working for Ron and Shirley, which are the mom and dad. And the girls were still young. They were working after school when I was working here, and now they run the greenhouse along with Tammy's husband, Scott. So this is like a second home to me. I raised my daughter working here. She has worked here. So the greenhouse means a lot to me because we have really came a long way from the first year I started.
So 31 years going on 32. What major changes have you seen here at the greenhouse during that time?
When I started, we had a dirt parking lot. We had dirt floors with chicken wire tables. We grew annuals, some perennials, and your basic house plants, and that was really it. It was a tight budget back then, and we had 15 houses when I started, but 2 of them weren't working houses. Okay. Ron called them cold frames because they didn't have roofs on them.
So not only do you have this, basically the sales floor greenhouse, you have multiple other greenhouses that you
Yes, yes. Okay. There is 10 acres altogether here. Wow. So most of the growing greenhouses are all in the back. We bring up like 6 to 10 flats of something and put in our retail area, while the rest we grow in the back.
So there's a lot of stuff behind the scenes that
behind
we don't
the
see.
Scenes, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Can you walk us through some of that? So we see the end result here on your beautiful sales floor.
Yes.
When do you guys start the flowers and start the plants in the back before you bring them out here?
We started January 16th with cuttings. So each week through mid-February is going to be batches of cuttings coming in. And then once those are rooted, then we take cuttings for what would be the next batch. So those cuttings are going to go into our baskets. The next cutting will go into the 4-inch. And while we're doing all the cuttings, then Michelle is starting her seeding. She has a seeding room, and then we have what's called the germ chamber.
Okay.
And that's where the plug trays go. As soon as they sprout, you have to move the plug trays out.
All right, well that sounds like a lot of behind the scenes stuff. How many plant moms and dads does it take to do all of this?
Well, I would say probably between 11 and 13 people.
And it probably changes from season to season. You have your busy season coming up here.
Yes, there's a whole world of just filling flats and pots. plants. Those people are back there all day long filling and mixing and doing all of that. Like up here we have Sammy, she's planting hanging baskets. Then the hangers are put on, then they're hung. And then we have Alyssa, she's doing our big planters, so those are combinations.
All right.
So you have a recipe you're following.
Very cool, very cool.
What I pride myself on is we take our customers very serious. And I truly believe that there is not a bad gardener. It's just people who are not getting the right plants for the right area, and they're not being educated on how to take care of what they have. And we're really good here. You take your plants, you take them home. If you have an issue, then you can get in touch with us. So we're going to walk you through what's not working so that you can make it work. Because to me, the finished product is at the end of the season when they come in and tell me, Margaret, it was so beautiful, or I loved my tomatoes, they were the best tomatoes I ever had. That's what we're going for. Of course, I want to sell things, that's my job, but I want my customers to be happy because they trust me, they have faith in me. They come every year, I know them, and I want them to have a successful season with whatever they grow.
What advice would you give to a gardener or would-be gardener who is going to start their first flower bed, or maybe want to grow their own vegetables for the first time?
I would say start small and increase from there. Don't overwhelm yourself with too much. Don't rely too much on magazines. We have to remember we're in Michigan. We're in our own little world in this zone here. So a lot of things that you're seeing on TV are things that probably are going to be a lot tougher to do here in Michigan. So take a week and look outside every day and see exactly where your sun is, how much sun you have or don't have. See what kind of soil you have. Is it clay? Is it sandy? Dig it up. Do you have a lot of worms crawling in there, or is it basically just sort of dry? That way you can work on your soil, any amendments you might need, and you're going to come in and be able to tell me, Margaret, I have full sun, I don't have any trees, and I need something that can withstand that, or I have a big tree over here and it's going to block it from 2 o'clock on. And then I'm going to help you pick out the plants that I think are going to do the best for you and perform the job you want. Do you want a cutting garden? Do you just want pretty pots on your porch? Do you want to grow veggies to can to really get you through the season? Or would you just like to have a few pots to go out and pick? I like to help people who are transitioning from having houses to going to apartments and condos as well. There's a lot you can do in pots that you couldn't do 10 or 20 years ago. They've downsized a lot of the vegetables, and there's so many vertical tricks that you can do. Everybody can grow flowers and vegetables, no matter how small of an area you have. It's just a matter of getting the right plants. There's just a big world to it. Even if you don't want to do the outside end, there's the house plants. You can do your indoor gardening. I just think everyone should be in touch with something green. In my opinion, it makes the world a better place.
So I also know that you sell a lot more than just plants.
Yes, we do. Michelle is one of the sisters, and she picks out all of our boutique items. She has a beautiful eye for garden decorations. So that's her area, and we have a lot of that throughout the season. We do a lot of pots now. One of the things we do that I really like is we have a little potting bench set up. So people can pick out a pot, pick out their plant, and they can pot it right here. So they don't have to buy soil and stuff if they're just doing a couple of plants, though we do offer all the soil and the additives you need if you're an aeroid grower. As an aeroid grower myself, those are the viney house plants. I like to mix my own soil, so I try and keep all that stuff on hand. We have the frogs, which are just one of my favorite. I just love. We have the namaste frog, and he just cracks me up. But yeah, Michelle, she picks out all that stuff, and her and Tammy do the pots, and I just sell it.
Very cool. Yeah, Jordan Marie went around and was giving kisses and hugs.
Oh, I'm sure.
She really loves all that stuff. And you guys have kids come in here a lot. Obviously, Jordan Marie came in here. You guys really
I love to see the young batch of gardeners growing up. It makes me feel wonderful because, that's our future there. And I think it's important that we teach our children right now, especially, how important these plants are. You give a child a 4x4 patch of land and let them grow a couple flowers and a couple vegetables, you're probably going to have a vegetable eater for the rest of your life. There's nothing that gives a child more pride than to go out there and see a plant mature and bud and actually flower. It teaches them so much. It teaches them responsibility. It gives them pride in something that they've done and done well. And it's something we can do as a family together, which I really think we need more of. It doesn't take a lot of time. You think it will, but it really doesn't. You can budget your time into 15 minutes a day to tend to your garden patch. And that's 15 minutes of spending time with your child, watching them learn. And you really do learn a lot. I like to see them plant from a pack, but I think every child should grow something from a seed just because there's so much joy in it.
And I think you're absolutely right. That is the whole reason why I actually started this YouTube channel, was obviously to spend time with Jordan Marie, but also teach her about gardening, teach her about the plants, teach her about growing and watering and pulling of weeds and all that. It's just really incredible. The whole aspect of teaching actually teaches you something as well.
It does. There's a lot more there than people realize, and there's the memories. I got my love of gardening from my mother, and I know you as well. And I remember how beautiful she grew zinnias and hollyhocks every year, and they were the most gorgeous things. So watching a child's wonder at all of this is really something.
What brings you the most joy out of all of this?
When my customers are happy, I'm happy. And I truly mean that. I thrive on the retail end of it, and we have the best customers in the world here. I am so blessed to have the customer base we have here, truly. It's really hard to be unhappy if you're surrounded by this. It really is. You can find something to smile about, or the beauty of, or the amazement of. Just stroll through and take it all in. And if you're really nervous and you don't like to be outside, then start with one potted plant, and you might be surprised.
And that's another reason why me and Jordan Marie wanted to come here as a field trip and do a greenhouse tour, because we're in Zone 6A here in Michigan, and right now it's still gloomy. So to get out of that gloom and get ready for the growing season, come in here, recharge our batteries, get pumped up for the growing season. As soon as we walk in the door, and the humidity hits you and the smell of the soil, it just gets you ready. And you're right, you can't come in here and not immediately,
yes,
feel that, you know what I mean? So
you're gonna start to see flowers and stuff in here, like the primroses are blooming out there. Yeah. Just remember, don't rush your growing season though. They're gonna grow better in a greenhouse until it's time for them to go outside.
Yeah.
But definitely come in and enjoy the smells and the pretties, because they're going to be coming now.
Yeah. And that's the thing too. Here in Michigan, we'll have like an early fake spring where the temperature's really good, and everybody's like, okay, we can go buy our little vegetable seed, or we can buy our flowers for outside, and then bam, we get hit with some frost and what.
And you know, it's very warm and humid in here, so if you take a plant that's been grown in that environment, even the perennials, when they're inside of a greenhouse, if they're not grown what's called being grown cold, where they just sit outside in a field and start growing, it's not going to kill the plant to put them outside, but it's going to kill all your top growth.
Yeah.
So it's going to have to start over again. So you're just better off to wait until that planting date.
Yeah. You know, I know it's a very busy time of year for you, so thank you so much for taking
You're
some time
very
out to be
welcome.
with us today. And, you know, I wish you a lot of success. I know you have a lot of returning customers for a reason.
It's going to be a gorgeous season. It really is. We have a lot of new stuff. I'm super excited. So, yeah, it's going to be great.
Well, thank you again for being a guest.
You're welcome.
When you come in, make sure you look for Margaret and say hello to her. She'll be happy to see you, of course, full of energy.
Of course I will.
She'll make your trip here, like, super cool.
And
we love seeing her, so.
Thank you so much.
And
I
thank
appreciate
you again,
it.
Margaret.
All
Have
right.
a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.
All right, if you enjoyed this field trip video to Carlson's greenhouse, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to our YouTube channel if you haven't already. Yay! As always, keep gardening, keep learning, and have fun.